Welcome back, band family. The one thing that I didn't teach you about at our last lesson is the tuning slide. Oh yeah. At the end of the instrument, there is a section that needs to be pulled out just a little bit. This is called the tuning slide. Now mine might look different than yours because I have some extra tubing. I actually have two tuning slides. You just have the one. But if you look real closely here on mine and then there on mine, there is a small gap in between the end of the tuning slide and the main trombone bell section. That's by design. That's the way it should be. The reason there's always a gap there on the trombone tuning slide is because this is the tuning slide and it adjusts for the temperature of the air inside the trombone. Think about it this way. If you had helium inside your lungs right now, how would it change your voice? It would get really high, right? That's because helium is less dense than normal air. What about hot air? Hot air rises like helium, right? Hot air balloons. Yeah, hot air is less dense than room temperature air. And as a result, it causes the sound to go slightly higher. Now, it's not nearly as much of an increase as like helium, but it's a small increase. And we can notice this on trombone that if the air inside here is hot, it is going to change the sound of the instrument. When that happens, I need to change how much this is pulled in or pushed out. Same way if the air inside here was really cold, like if you were playing outside on a winter day, the air inside here would be really cold and I need to adjust the tuning slide to compensate. I know this gets a little complicated, but the basic idea is that this tuning slide with room temperature air inside here must be pulled out about 1/4 of an inch. If it's pushed all the way in, that's not the room temperature setting. If it's farther out, that's not the room temperature setting. It needs to be about 1/4 of an inch out. Here's how to move the slide. You could grab the end and push and pull. That kind of works, but you'll notice that sometimes it's hard to make it move. So what we can do is we can put our thumbs on that cross brace like this. Grab the cross brace and you can push it up by pushing your thumbs up and down. So now I've pulled that tuning slide out, probably a little too far. So then I can just pull it back a little bit until I have 1/4 inch of that tuning slide pulled out. Now the tuning slide we set and then we kind of leave it as is. We don't really use that at all when we're playing. We just set it up to compensate for the air temperature. The way we change notes, however, first we can change our lips because we know we can already get several notes simply by doing high jets and low jets. But the other way is by using our trombone slide. Before we get to that, let's review the notes we already know. We know that there's a low, a middle, and a high open note. And an open note is a note that we don't have to use our right hand on the slide at all. It just gets different notes just by changing the way we buzz. So the middle open note is called F. You might recall from our class video, which I hope you've already watched. If you haven't, pause this video, go watch that video, and then come on back. But every note, every pitch in music has a letter name. A, B, C, D, all the way up to G. And then it starts over again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and on and on. So that middle open note is called F. The low open note is called B flat. It's a B, but it's the brother of B, and we have to add that special little flat symbol next to the note. It gets complicated. Just know that the name of that note is B flat. That flat symbol looks like a half of a heart with a line through it. The high open note is also called B flat. It's just the higher one. So again, since we keep going through that alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So there's that B again up here, and then there's a B down there, F in the middle. Let's try playing that right now. We're going to play that middle open note, that F. But to check to see if we have the correct note, let's use our Bandmate app. Let's get that set up. So I have the Bandmate app pulled up on my device. First thing I need to do is change the setting at the top for instrument to trombone. Now it's set for trombone. Next, I need to change the switch on the far right side to the top setting. That's the flat symbol that we talked about, right? It looks like a pizza on a stick. We don't want to have it set to the bottom setting, which is the sharp symbol. It looks like a hashtag. We want to leave it on the top setting. Now that that's all set up, I can grab my trombone and try to play an F. Hey, it's an F. So I got the correct open note. That is the F we're looking for. It wasn't too low, down with that low B flat, nor was it too high for the high B flat. It was an F. So the next step is to teach you some new notes. To do that, we'll need to use the slide. Let's unlock the slide first. You might want to set the slide very, very gently on the ground till the end of it touches, and then you can unlock the slide lock. It's a little ring right here that you're going to unlock just like that. And now the slide can move back and forth. Remember that when we hold the trombone, our left thumb goes through the cross brace that's right here. Mine looks a little different, but yours just goes through. We're going to put our 4 fingers through this square, and then we have our right hand here at the bottom. Thumb and 2 fingers right at the bottom of this cross brace, and then we put our bottom 2 fingers below that. To find our different slide positions, by the way, and be careful, once this slide is unlocked, it can easily fall. So make sure that you hang on to this at all times, okay? To get all the notes in between the open notes, I need to use the slide. Every time I extend the slide out, it changes the length of the instrument. Let me explain what I mean. I'm going to lock my slide as I explain. The whole trombone is 9 feet of tubing. If I unwrapped it, well, that'll destroy the trombone. But it would also show me that there's 9 feet of tubing. And if I change the amount of tubing on an instrument, it changes the sound. Think about this. What is bigger, a trumpet or a tuba? Tuba, of course. What is lower, a trumpet or a tuba? A tuba. So the more tubing I have, the longer the instrument, the lower it is. If I take this trombone with its 9 feet of tubing, and I extend the trombone slide out a bit, I've now added on to the length of the instrument. If I add on a foot up here and a foot down there, well, I've now added 2 feet on to that 9-foot length, and I have 11 feet of tubing, right? If I add just a couple inches on the top and then on the bottom, well, that's 9 feet plus, a few inches. So the more tubing I add on, the bigger the instrument, and therefore the lower the sound. So I'm going to show you how to get the note below F. It's 1 note down. It's going to be lower in pitch, so therefore I need to add tubing, right? If I add a certain amount of tubing on, I'm going to get a lower note. If this is F, if I bring my slide out to there, that's the next note down. What's the note before F in the alphabet? Say the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, E. E comes before F. So if this is F, and I add tubing on, I'm going to produce an E. Technically, it's an E flat. It's the brother of E, but yeah, E flat. And to find exactly where this needs to go to get that E flat note, we have different spots on the slide that I can memorize, and this slide position is called position number 3. All the way in for those open notes is position 1. Position 3 is right here. Let me show you how to find position 3. Right now, it's in position 1. The cross brace that your hand touches is pushed all the way in. If I then slide this slide out until that cross brace is about 1 inch away from the bell, that's position 3. So to find position 3, you simply extend the slide out until it's about 1 inch away from the bell. Let me show you what this looks like when I hold it up the normal way. So here's position 1. My slide is pulled all the way in. To find position 3, I'm going to extend this all the way out until I'm about 1 inch away from the bell. Now, the cross brace is not going to be even with the bell. That's too far. It's going to be about 1 inch closer from the bell. That's position 3. That's 1 note below F. So instead of F, if I buzz the same note, but I am at position 3, I buzz an F, it's going to come out as an E flat. Let's give it a shot. Let's try playing that E flat. E flat. Hey, I got the right note. And again, I buzzed an F, but because I made the instrument bigger by extending the slide out to 3rd position, it sounded lower. It sounded like an E flat. Hey, did you notice how I brought my instrument up? I brought the instrument up into playing position. I then pulled it into my face. Then I extended the slide. After I was done playing, I pulled the slide in first. It came off my face, and then it went down. That order is pretty important. You need to make sure that you bring the instrument all the way up and then pull it in, because if you don't, you might find that your chin changes position. Also, we want to make sure that the instrument's pulled all the way into our face before we start using the slide. Later on, when we learn these farther slide positions out, if you forget to pull this in, before you pull the instrument down, yeah, you're going to have a problem. So make sure that no matter what slide position you're in, bring it all the way back to first position and then off the face and then down. Make sense? I'm going to show you one more note today. It's the next note down below E flat. Well, what comes before E in the alphabet? A, B, C, D, E, D. So I'm going to show you how to play D. It's the next slide position down. If this is first position and this is third, we're going to go to fourth position. Let me show you how to find that. So here we have first position, right? The slide is pulled all the way in. If I go down to third position, that cross brace is going to be not even with the bell, but close. It's going to be about 1 inch closer to your face. Then to go even farther to fourth position to play D, I'm going to keep extending the slide until the top of this slide is right across from the bell. So if you can see here, the top part of the slide is now even with the bell. Technically, the way that advanced players play this D, it's going to be slightly past the bell by like a fraction of an inch. So, but if you just want to think about the top of this slide being even with the bell, that is just fine. That's fourth position. This is third, and this is all the way back to first. Let's see if we can find it while the trombone's in the normal spot. Here's position 1. It's how I play all the open notes: low B flat, high B flat, and F. If I then go out to position 3 and buzz an F, I'm going to get an E flat. If I go out to position 4, where that top of the slide is even with the bell, I'll get D, assuming I'm buzzing an F, right? So I buzz an F, I get F. If I buzz an F, but I'm in third position, I get E flat, because I've got more tubing. If I buzz an F, but I'm out in fourth position, I'll get D. Let's try playing D right now. D. That's because I was in fourth position when I buzzed an F, and by adding that extra tubing on, it became D. You'll also notice that I brought my instrument up, pulled it into my face, went to the slide position, then I played the note. When I was done, slide came in, instrument came off my face, and then I went to the down position. It's important to remember that sequence every time. So this week, you have a lot of new things to work on. In addition to working on our mouthpiece buzzing every single day to develop our strength, doing the air to sound, instant sound, high jets, low jets, and dropping bombs, you also can work on assembling your instrument correctly, holding it correctly, making sure that all your hands are in the right spot. Keep watching that video from earlier in the week to make sure you know how to hold this correctly. You can do the 3 different open notes: high B flat, F, and low B flat. Make sure you can get at least a couple of those. And now, as of tonight, we have new notes as well. We have, in addition to that F, we can play E flat in third position and D in fourth position. Work on memorizing the names of those notes, the F, the E flat, and the D, as well as how to play them, and you'll get better and better. Until next time, go practice.